This is more than a whiteboard. This is the whiteboard at Manhattan Associates. It's a catalyst to solve unsolvable problems, create countless innovations, and power commerce on 6 continents. This is the whiteboard used by the best supply chain professionals in the industry. Omni-channel gurus, AI experts, consultants, engineers, and developers. It's seen $1 billion of R&D, brainstorms, bold ideas, creative solutions which have impacted companies and consumers around the world. It's our canvas, our playground, our heartbeat. And more than that, after 30 years, it keeps getting better. Now just imagine what our whiteboard could do for you.
Hello, my name's Eddie Capel. I'm the CEO here at Manhattan Associates, and I'm so glad that you can join us for Momentum. For more than a quarter of a century, it's been a milestone of normalcy and continuity, 2 things that I know that I've certainly come to cherish. But for all of us in so many ways, this last year has been unsettling, to say the very least. It changed where we worked, how we ate, how we shopped, and the way we lived. And for millions around the world, it irreparably impacted the lives of those that we love and we care about. So, while I am once again disappointed that we cannot be together in person this year, our primary concern continues to be the health, the welfare, and the safety of our employees, our partners, and of course, all of you. As the world moves past 1 billion vaccines given so far, I remain hopeful that this is the last year that we'll not be together. Now, I do want you to know, even though we're still remote, we've got a great event planned for you. We've brought together product leaders, industry analysts, and special guests, all of whom have created informative and really engaging sessions that I know you're just not going to want to miss. Dr. Kate Darling from MIT will help us explore our growing relationship with artificial intelligences and robotics. Adam Stelzner, the chief engineer from the Mars 2020 project, will illuminate the way NASA prepares their teams to handle disruption across the far reaches of the solar system. And over the next 2.5 days, you'll hear stories from each other as well. You'll hear how you've learned, how you've adapted, and how you've grown. And boy, have we learned to adapt to all kinds of things. You know, we learned that demand peaks and tidal waves of volume, they can hit us at very unexpected times and be triggered in very unusual ways. And we learned that trying to stretch out those peaks over longer periods of time, that can really help with labor constraints in warehouses and in our retail stores. But those surges in home delivery, that really places an extreme amount of pressure on our parcel carrier partners. More than anything, though, we came to understand that agility is perhaps our most valuable skill set, to be ready for whatever comes next. And that requires world-class communication and world-class collaboration. It requires unification, the fusion of your people, your processes, and your technologies. Of course, we all know about the benefits of unification, because you've had to become more than the world's best manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. You're aligning finances and health for your employees, helping to keep their jobs secure and their families feeling the same. You're blending employment and charity within your communities, helping to support, grow, and stabilize those local economies. And you're unifying online and offline experiences for consumers, ensuring they have food, clothing, and supplies needed to make their lives feel just a little bit more normal. And that inspires us. It inspires us to continue to create software that's more than just a commerce solution, a piece of supply chain technology, or a store system. At Manhattan, we purposefully design and we meticulously engineer solutions that we believe we become a nucleus of innovation and opportunities for your organization. Solutions that are versionless with continuous access to innovation. They're extensible and scalable. Solutions that empower your people, your facilities, and your networks. Solutions that are unified. And we're all moving so fast, aren't we? And we're so connected to one another. So why are we still using such disconnected systems for selling, service, and fulfillment, or distribution, automation, and transportation? It's a disconnectedness that can be a real liability to your efficiency, your production, and your profitability. So take the term omnichannel. It essentially means a singular buyer experience, regardless of the when, where, or how the customer decides to engage with a brand. One unified commerce experience. But how does most of the technology industry deliver tools to help you offer that experience? Separate systems. Separate systems for OMS, CRM, point of sale, store fulfillment, and so on. Different architectures, different interfaces, different version release schedules, performance capabilities, and all kinds of things. And that disconnect has often been forced upon your workforces and your processes as well. How many of you out there have had to create teams that work exclusively with TMS or only within WMS, instead of being able to align them holistically to the full outbound process? Most everybody, I'd wager, because you've had no choice. Legacy technology architectures are incapable of unifying processes like distribution and transportation. They're limited by large monolithic databases. Customizations have to be duplicated over and over and over again for every upgrade, and a mess of self-managed integrations that leave you in eternal testing purgatory. And they were never designed to accumulate and process the vast amounts of unstructured data available today, from social media insights to real-time traffic updates and billions of IoT devices. But Manhattan solutions are different. Instead of stitching together a portfolio of architectures of legacy applications with just a bit of integration and a dashboard, we're creating modern systems, architected to unify your commerce and supply chain experiences. They're cloud native, which means they're designed to take advantage of modern cloud platforms to automatically scale performance to match demand. And they're composed entirely of microservices, discrete functional components that eliminate the need to duplicate capability or duplicate data. And guess what? They all speak the same language. They never need upgrading, because every 90 days, we deliver new features and updates for all of the users, and they're extensible, which means you can plug in your own innovation without impacting future updates or scalability. And you'll never again be forced to juggle updates, upgrades, and modifications across multiple applications trying to support that singular goal. See, this is Manhattan Active. And every new solution that we've released since 2017 has been based on this groundbreaking, world-class technology. And it all started with Manhattan Active Omni, which was designed to ensure that places like this are agile, adaptive, and ready for whatever walks through the door. It unifies order management, point of sale, store inventory, CRM, and customer self-service, all within a single cloud-native software-as-a-service application. And Manhattan Active Omni has been thoroughly battle-tested over the last 4 years by many of the world's leading retail brands. And while the term never the same again was said about nearly everything in 2020, for those of you supporting and supplying bricks and mortar retail environments, there's certainly a lot of truth to it. Like a hurricane that reshapes and reclaims the shoreline, the past year has rearranged the components of commerce.
As we emerge from 2020, the retail industry looks different. Retailers, distributors, and manufacturers must adapt quickly. And that means addressing 3 primary areas of concern. First is supplier diversification and creating resiliency in the inbound supply of goods and materials with intelligent technology and real-time visibility. Second is recognizing the needs of the workforce and adapting labor to roles that are positive and productive for the retailer and the employee. Third is creating promising fulfillment models with technologies that leverage every item across every location, internally and externally.
Stores around the world largely went to sleep in March of 2020, and a great many of them are now just emerging from that interminable slumber. And when they do wake up, they'll arise to a world where the store is an even more critical component in the unification of the digital and the physical commerce worlds. Instead of fulfilling a dozen pick-up and ship from store orders a day, stores are processing hundreds of orders, stressing those legacy solutions never designed for the adaptation of this type of commerce. Over Black Friday week in the US from 2019 to 2020, our clients saw a 300% spike just in BOPUS orders. But this is where Manhattan Active Technology really starts to shine. Because not only does it scale automatically to ensure you have system capacity when volumes skyrocket, but it's also doing it without losing any of the robust real-time sourcing logic that ensures every customer promise is fulfilled in the absolute most profitable way, which has become a critical component of success for retail leaders like Brian Townsend and the team at Super Retail Group.
Super Retail Group is a leading retailer in Australia and New Zealand. We have 600 stores, 5 distribution centres, 6 high converting websites, over 13,000 staff. We were shifting the mindset of the organisation to think omni and not just we've got stores and we've got a website. But then COVID came and everything, not just unique to us, but kind of like hit the pause button. And what became very apparent is that actually the omni retail initiatives we were doing and the order management system in particular had to be accelerated as opposed to paused. We've experienced massive increase in online demand, and could we have fulfilled it without MAO? On one level, absolutely, we'd have found a way of getting the product to the customer, but it would have eroded profitability. So we may have still achieved a top sales number, but without the profitability associated with that, and that's not sustainable.
Now, that kind of scale and profitability really isn't possible without the convergence of the commerce capabilities that Manhattan Active Omni offers. It's one of the reasons that Manhattan Active Omni was just named the only leader in the 2021 Forrester Wave for Order Management Systems. But there is more. See, these volumes, they're not very predictable either. In some cases, traditional holiday season peaks have become normal daily volumes. And that's really thanks to consumers who've been sequestered for far too long. And you know what? We aren't going back. 80% of consumers who tried new digital shopping methods during the pandemic, they say they'll continue shopping that way. And 73% who tried curbside or alternative delivery methods, they expect to continue to use those as well. And availability and convenience, they became almost the most important drivers of new brand purchases. Is it in stock? Where? How can I get it quickly and easily? And that last data point, how can I get it quickly and easily, that might be the most impactful though. Because it doesn't just represent an acceleration of a trend, it's really a new criteria that consumers are using when they're shopping. How and where we get our wished items have become almost just as important, and maybe sometimes more important, than the size and the color when making a buying decision. But while the store has become a crucial digital fulfillment component in the supply chain, its original purpose has always been selling and customer engagement, which has understandably been a bit more difficult over the last year. And the primary reason that the need for modern point-of-sale capabilities is really the last piece to wake up. But for brand leaders like Vineyard Vines, though, it's more important than ever.
Hospitality and customer experience go hand in hand, and hospitality is the cornerstone for Vineyard Vines. We had in place ship from store, buy online, pick up in store, and endless aisle. And we knew that we needed to continue these capabilities. We wanted to ensure whatever we brought in had the best customer experience possible and would follow the customer across their journey. at every touch point and in every channel. Someone asked me, why did you choose Manhattan POS? And I said, actually, we chose Manhattan Active Omni, the whole solution, not just from a point of sale. We wanted a customer experience that was holistic, that broke down the traditional barriers in the channel, that was very digital, but yet could also be in the physical world. We wanted that personalized customer experience.
Manhattan Active Omni is the only solution that unifies your digital properties, stores, and contact centers into a single application built with Manhattan Active technology to help you be ready for wherever you go next. So we all know, regardless of industry, that we've got to continue to be acutely focused on exceptional customer experiences. And that requires meeting and beating those ever-tightening service level agreements, those customer promises. And it's probably not an overstatement to say there may be more pressure on inventory planners than anyone out there. Because meeting those service level agreements, those promises, of course, they're tied directly to inventory accuracy and inventory disposition. And on top of that, where inventory optimization isn't synchronized with distribution and transportation, the decisions can really have a significant impact on those customer SLAs, and also more broadly across the entire supply chain, including the subtle but potentially significant impacts on trailer utilization, for example. Take truckload building process, for instance, which is essentially the mix and makeup of items loaded into the trailers for delivery. Now, let's say our inventory planner is being very, very observant, and they notice that, hey, there's a small percentage of unused capacity on most of the trucks going from my national distribution center to my regional distribution center. So they turn the knob a little bit to ensure the inventory is optimized to fill those trucks up. That's a good thing, right? No air being shipped. But what about the distribution center? Because the inventory was only optimized to account for the extra capacity in the trailer, the impact on the warehouse can be substantial. An extra pallet or two on one truck, probably okay. But what happens when you have 100 trucks arrive? We got a real problem on our hands. And that's why Manhattan Inventory Optimization takes a much smarter, a more unified approach, considering the holistic impacts of inventory optimization across the entire supply chain. Planners can still optimize inventory to reduce unused capacity across truckloads, but instead of using a generic approximation, Manhattan Inventory Optimization intelligently prioritizes items that move quickly, front loads expiring inventory, and avoids items already approaching capacity, assuring that the DC has the capability to handle and turn the additional inventory. Inventory optimization becomes synchronized with distribution and transportation optimization, creating that perfect balance of inventory supply and demand and optimal customer experience. And I'm not sure that there's any place where supply and demand are more in sync than the warehouse. Of course, this is where Manhattan grew up and where we're delivering cloud-first solutions to help you push the limit of what's possible when you need more from your distribution centers. And last year at Momentum, we introduced the most ambitious warehouse management solution in the history of the industry, Manhattan Active Warehouse Management. And it was loaded with WMS firsts. First to be cloud native with quarterly innovation updates, the first to continually optimize every natural resource in the DC in real time, orders, inventory, labor, and automation. The first to gamify associate tasks for higher engagement. The first to fully unify distribution center processes and capabilities, and so much more. And you know what? It's generating the lowest travel times and the highest pick densities we've ever seen. And the response has been nothing short of tremendous. Supply chain experts celebrated a single distribution solution that could seamlessly orchestrate advanced automation and robotics while engaging the human workforce with collaboration and encouragement. But even more exciting for us is the response that we've seen from all of you. At this very moment in time, there are more than 24 of you, either live or implementing Manhattan Active WM. And you're doing it across 10 different industries in 8 different countries, including our first customer in Uruguay. And industry-leading brands around the world like Loblaws, L'Oreal, Levi's, and many more are all making the shift to the future of warehouse management. And for a number of market leaders like C&A in Brazil, this remarkable instrument of execution efficiency is already expanding the potential for growth and productivity.
C&A is one of the largest fashion retailers in the world and also in Brazil. And here we are fully committed to an omni-channel strategy and to become the key platform for our customer when it comes to fashion. So we're investing in the solutions that will enable us to meet our customer needs now and in the future. So we chose Manhattan Active Warehouse Management because it's a robust, scalable, and future-proof solution. It provides us with superior business agility through its technology. So for example, it's built for the cloud, it's versionless, it has a microservices architecture, and therefore by using it, we really expect to improve our customer experience and to maximize our rapidly growing online business. So Manhattan is a strategic partner for us today, and together we're building a supply chain that will stand out in the fashion marketplace, and we will provide the best possible shopping experience to our customers.
Like all Manhattan Active solutions, Manhattan Active WM is delivering on that commitment to introduce new features and new capabilities every 90 days. And since this time last year, there have already been 4 innovation-packed updates to Manhattan Active WM. Unified distribution planning forecasts work in the warehouse against available labor. Manufacturers and CPG organizations are going to love the completely redesigned finished goods construction and deconstruction capability. An all-new guided Q&A based receiving that can invoke predetermined actions. And all these are just a few of the hundreds of updates over the past year to increase agility, simplicity, and performance. And you're going to learn about all of these in sessions throughout the week. And because they're truly cloud native and built entirely from microservices, solutions like Manhattan Active Omni, Manhattan Active Allocation, and Manhattan Active WM are reinventing what it means to upgrade, making it so easy to add innovation that you hardly have time to see it happen.
Manhattan Active Warehouse Management is cloud native, built with 100% microservices. Upgrades happen fast. How fast? You want to see it? Did you see it? You want to see it again? It's the blink of an eye, like a camera flash. Manhattan Active Warehouse Management. Upgrades fast. 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 You, want to see it again?
Now, if you're an old supply chain guy like me, it almost doesn't seem real, does it? Is the era of 6, 12, or even 18-month upgrades really over? Well, I can assure you, it actually is. But it wasn't easy. We spent more than 30 years working with you, our clients, and our partners to take the "you can't do that" out of supply chain. Now, as kids growing up, we were always taught to never say, "I can." And I know you approach your business with that mindset, and so do we. We continue to invest to create solutions that are unified, including more than $250 million in research and development just in the last 3 years alone. But we do it because we know that being the best is not a right. It's a privilege that's earned through an unwavering commitment to do those hard things. And I promise you, we're committed to doing the hard things. The things some said can't be done. Things like infusing artificial intelligence, behavioral science, and nonstop optimization into solutions like Manhattan Active WM to make your life just a little bit easier. Because let's face it, your job's tough enough already. Well, I'll tell you what though, we think we've got this place just about mastered, don't you? So let's take a walk and see what we can do out there. Planning and executing this has certainly got quite a lot harder over the last couple of decades, hasn't it? Procurement's more difficult, planning takes too long, and execution is a minefield of exceptions and workarounds. Shrinking delivery windows, fluctuating capacity, massive unexpected shipment increases, Suez Canal blockages, and now I guess we're running out of shipping containers. All of this has exponentially increased the complexity of rating and routing, and all the time that it takes to generate that perfect transportation plan. I can almost hear your old TMS just groaning under the strain right now. You need something different, something better. So we started over. We leaned on more than 30 years of learning in supply chain sciences, engineering, and experience management. And we redesigned and we rebuilt transportation management from the ground up. Because we know that you need a new level of innovation, agility, and scale. And you need it now. So I'm proud to announce Manhattan Active Transportation Management, a brand new TMS that makes transportation planning faster, smarter, and easier than ever before. And it's cloud native, built entirely for microservices. A scalable foundation for the continuous innovation and blistering performance. And just like Manhattan Active WM, it's completely extensible and always current. That's right, a versionless SaaS TMS that you can customize and personalize. Manhattan Active Transportation Management is the fastest multimodal transportation optimization engine anywhere in the industry. How fast, you're asking? Well, how about 18 million feasibility considerations every second? The result is a quantum leap forward in computational speed. Now, we're using in-memory processing for rating and routing to reduce solve times by about 80%. But Manhattan Active TM is more than just fast. It's smarter as well. It's the first self-configuring and self-tuning transportation network solver. And by combining the industry's best solution quality with the highest performance, we've eliminated a ton of configuration complexity for the planners. It dynamically chooses between multiple route generation techniques in real time without any oversight from transportation planners. And it accumulates and optimizes external data like weather patterns to create an optimal plan, and then input from IoT sensors and edge devices to adjust and adapt to that plan in real time. So we've got fast, we've got smart. Now let's talk about easy. Transportation planners have always dealt with a significant number of manual adjustments trying to hone for the perfect TMS plan. And that puts a lot of pressure on them to get it just right. Well, you can forget about all that, because Manhattan Active TM now configures and tunes those factors automatically with a powerful application of machine learning for optimal results. Manhattan Active TM is the most technologically advanced transportation planning and execution solution ever created. It simplifies and accelerates solving the most complex networks, protecting your bottom line and creating more time to focus on your customers. And because it's been fused with Manhattan Active Warehouse Management, really it marks a major milestone in the unification of supply chain execution. Distribution, labor, automation, and now transportation are finally together, unified in a single application built on Manhattan Active technology. Manhattan Active Supply Chain. And as you know by now, that means no more point-to-point integration, no more upgrades, engineered extensibility, and one common user experience to visualize, control, and engage every node and every network in between. It really is a groundbreaking step forward in execution efficiency across the supply chain. And without Manhattan Active technology, it can't be done. And the journey has been challenging. It was hard. But that's what motivates and inspires us. Inspires us to take on the tough challenges, the integration challenges, the process alignment challenges, data replication challenges, and the flat-out syntax errors between the two systems. I think it was George Bernard Shaw who said, "The United States and Great Britain are two countries separated by a common language." And bringing together distribution and transportation is very much the same. Just take the concept of location in TMS and location in WMS. Spelled the same, sounds the same in both, but a location in a DC is very different from a location inside of a TMS. And the data differences make it nearly impossible to align them. WMS and TMS have always communicated, of course, but have they ever truly understood one another? Have they been symbiotic to each other? Until now, the answer has been no. But with Manhattan Active Supply Chain, they're seamlessly united with common components, common nomenclature, and common architecture. And when optimization and planning are united across the supply chain, those can'ts become cans. You can eliminate the hours and hours that distribution centers and WMSs wait while TMS iterates through its planning cycles. And you can put an end to those time-consuming processes of the TMS attempting to determine if there is allocatable inventory in the WMS that can be planned. And you can forget planning waves in WMS, along with all of those complex and time-consuming iterative integration cycles. You can get the work to the warehouse floor faster with no lost time. You can accelerate deliveries to stores, driving up productivity, facility efficiency, and on-time deliveries and customer satisfaction. And what about last-minute order changes? Today, you can't really change or cancel orders once they've been committed to the warehouse. The point of no return for order updates or cancellations to the DC is when the WMS hands the shipment off to TMS to plan. But within Manhattan Active Supply Chain, an order can now be modified, enabling changes right up until the last trailer door slams shut. Manhattan Active Supply Chain also takes visibility and control to the next level with single, responsive, and modern management experiences for the combined transportation and distribution network. And unified control brings real-time global insights on operational health within every single facility and transportation route across the network. And you can drill into any one of those insights to change outcomes or resolve any conflicts you might have. Because unlike abstracted control tower offerings, analytics and execution are part of the same application. Traditional portfolio approaches to supply chain solution architecture create artificial barriers to efficiency by separating distribution, labor, automation, and transportation. And it's why we developed Manhattan Active Supply Chain, to finally unify supply chain planning and execution into a single, extraordinary application. And frankly, without Manhattan Active technology, it just can't be done. Well, I hope you agree. Manhattan Active Transportation Management really is the most exciting advancement in transportation planning and execution in recent memory. And this new TMS becoming part of Manhattan Active Supply Chain marks the future of supply chain unification. A future where we can be more than agile, more than resilient, and more than adaptable. Because we need to be. Because we're so much more than what we make or what we sell or what we deliver. And we're proud, as always, and privileged to work alongside you to keep commerce and life flowing within the communities in which we live and which we serve. Because together, I don't think there's anything that we can't do. And as always, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your partnership. I want to thank you for your loyalty and thank you for your trust. Now, in just a moment, you'll have immediate access to engaging sessions and more product updates, customer stories, and insights from our industry experts. And you can find everything you need to know on the Momentum Connect website or our mobile application. So please stay safe, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing all of you in person at next year's Momentum. So thank you, and stay safe.
This is more than coffee. It's what revs the engine of innovation that changes commerce around the world. It's caffeine and supply chain concepts, medium roast, and omni-channel transformation. Our coffee is there for early morning inspiration and late night problem solving. It helps the industry's best workforce help the world's best companies. It's the drink of choice when we do the impossible. Activate efficiency, spark engagement, and turn technology into a competitive advantage. This is the coffee at Manhattan Associates. We just put on another pot. So, what can we brew up for you?